Hi, everybody. Welcome to the call. I'm Dave Johnson, and we got Doug Dickey and Paul Stowers, and we're very good friends, but we're also united in a great mission, a crusade to change the world one person at a time. And let's maybe start out with Paul. You came up with this idea actually before Avini. And the three of us, we've actually been working with something we're really excited about for all of us many years before Avini. And that's the cool thing is we've got something that's already proven in the marketplace. For the last 20 years, millions of bottles have been sold under the license of Rick to different companies. And now he has his own company. And I just couldn't be more happy and more excited about the possibilities we have. And so we've got a product. We've got wonderful people that want to share it. And we're going to talk about a track to run on to best use the product, I think, for the maximum benefit historically. It's changed my life using it this way. And now we've got something that is actually good for sales and marketing to get the word out and just make it happen fast. Duplication, that's what we love.
That is, Dave. Yeah, 4.5 years ago, real quick, I'll tell the story. I was introduced to Cell Defender, what we call today Cell Defender, that product before Avini was ever even thought of. Driving down the road, get that famous opportunity phone call. And I almost said no because I wasn't really looking for the opportunity, but he said enough about the product that caught my attention. And so I said, that I'm interested in. I was 52 at the time. Didn't know why I was really interested, but it just really just grabbed me. And he sent me some information. I reviewed, I believe Rick does a short video on the product and then a clinical study, the coal miner study we always refer to for proving safety and effectiveness. And then I heard Doug's testimony the following week. And I said, I'm in. I need this product. And I had 3 months earlier, I had been with my doctor, my new doctor, and he'd been asking a lot of questions. And I had been verbally diagnosed with a fairly serious health condition on a verbal basis based upon symptoms I had. And frankly, I didn't connect it to toxicity. But anyways, I just knew I needed this product. So I get on and I effectively do what we call today Clean Start 90 health reset. I did this 10 drops, 10 plus times a day for 90 days because that was what everybody was doing. Back then, we didn't really have many other products. We just had that product. And in that 90-day period, I saw all my health conditions that I had been struggling with clear up and go away. And in that time, I started researching, better understanding what the product did, how it worked, and learning about toxicity in the environment and why we all need this. And we just started sharing the product out of a passion because we saw what it was doing for us, my wife and I, and started seeing it provide benefits to other people. And then a year later, Avini gets started. But that particular company, about a month, maybe a month and a half into that company that was selling Rick's product at that time, I literally was driving down the road and I had to pull the car over. I had this download. It was like as fast as I could write, I had this idea. Now, what we call Clean Start 90 today. And I literally wrote it all out. I think I called Doug right away. I said, Doug, I got to tell you about this program. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It's this, and we can do this, and here's how. And I had it, I had it all laid out. That company had a convention that we all met up. That was the first time I met you, Dave, there at that convention. And I remember saying, I've got to talk to the owner of this company. I got to share this vision I had about how to really get this product out there in the hands of people and replication and duplication. And was able to pull like 45. First of all, he was only I think, Doug, you were there in that room. He only was going to give us 5 or 10 minutes. And we ended up talking for 45 minutes. He was so impressed. He was like, oh my goodness, this is a God idea. He asked me, he says, can you fly down to the company and present this to our team? So a couple of weeks later, I flew down. And of course, that company didn't last for various reasons. And then we just said, where's the product going? So we followed to the next company. And then eventually Avini got started. And we all know that story of how we're here today with this amazing company. And this idea just never, in the beginning, we were doing it. That's how I built my business in the very beginning with Avini was I would get people, hey, you need to do 10 drops 10 times a day, 90 days. That because I saw what it did for me and other people. I saw all the testimonials pointed the fact that if you keep this, even though clinically, the product says 10 drops twice a day, which proves safety, effectiveness, and pulling out toxins, heavy metals toxins up to 15 times a day. What I saw was in my own life and others, and all the testimonies I kept hearing, if you were to keep it in your body consistently and frequently over this 10, and again, not a perfect science, just 10 drops 10 times a day, whenever you get it in throughout the day, and you do this for a period of time, in this case 90 days, that's when we really saw the body start to show all these amazing miracles of what it could do. As Rick always says, a cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. And so we were doing that, but just not calling it a program. And then over time, we kept adding more and more products, and they're amazing products. Avini has a line of products that will change your life. And so what I found is this past summer, Doug was in town and we were meeting with one of our distributors, and he was saying, you know what? He goes, I'm going to get going again. And this guy's enrolled a lot of people. He's probably enrolled 40 or 50 people, and yet he's a gold executive in the company. And you would think with that amount of people, he would have greater traction in his team. And so we were talking, and he just brought up, hey, I'm going to get going. And it was kind of like he wanted to, but he didn't really know what to do. And then I looked at Doug and I said, it just came out. I was like, Doug, we need to relaunch this program. This is what's going to allow us to replicate and duplicate. And so that started us down the path again of just me pulling back on my old notes. And we were going to call it a heavy metal detox challenge. That was what our original name was. And I was walking into a grocery store maybe a month later after we decided that I was going to put this back together. And I literally was thinking I'm like, heavy metal detox challenge. Challenge has been overused. When you say detox, people they associate with other things they might have done. And I was like, this is not the right wording. And I called Doug and I said, Doug, what do you think of Clean Start 90 Health Reset, CS 90? And I said, because everybody needs a clean start, right? I don't care what you've done for your health up to this point, what you're going to do in the future. As Rick says, Cell Defender is that product that will make everything work better in your body, right? And so I said, everybody needs a clean start. And this is, as we always say, the tip of the spear. And so no matter what other products you take with Avini Health, no matter whatever things you do for your health, everybody needs to have a clean start. And to me, this will make everything you do work that much better. And then I just kept formulating those ideas. And from there, came up with documents. And there's some sites. I'll share some tools with you guys as far as where you can get certain things and information you need. But the latest thing that just came out was I had created a wellness snapshot. I originally called it a wellness snapshot, 10 categories. There's check boxes under each category or subcategories that kind of go with the main category, the main heading. And you would check the things that apply and give yourself a score. And this was all on paper. And several weeks ago, I was just like, man, if I could digitize this and make it where you could do it on your phone, your tablet, or computer and give people a health score, that would be an amazing tool for people to because now it personalizes it. The problem with, and of course, we created that video, Your Journey to Better Health, which does an amazing job of, in 4 minutes, showing people the big elephant in the room and where toxins lead to if unchecked, as far as what the undercurrents of sickness and disease it generally is derived from in these days. But the thing is that if you share that video with somebody, it's just humans are, you know what, that's everybody else's problem. That's not really me. I feel fine. I don't really need to do this program. And of course, anybody that's been around Avini Health for 3.5 years, we know the testimonies, we know what it does for people, but the masses of people think they're okay. They don't understand how toxins are already starting to affect them, right? How it's affecting their health. And so when I was able to digitize this, that kind of come up what I call now the toxic impact quiz, it takes the big elephant in the room and it makes it personal. Because everybody knows how they feel. Everybody knows as we get older, that's not normal. I used to be able to do this. Now I don't. We know as a feeling about our bodies. And I think the other thing that a lot of people don't stop to ask questions along the way. They don't even realize how affected they are how toxins are affecting their health. Kind of like the frog in a pot of water where you slowly turn up the heat and the frog eventually gets cooked. The same things, toxins are happening to all of us, even if we don't have something major critical going on in our bodies, right? The heat is slowly being turned up on all of us humans because there's over 70,000 toxins in our environment today, heavy metals, toxins, volatile organic compounds, forever chemicals, toxic microplastics that weren't here 50 years ago. And we're big filters, and the heat is being slowly turned up. Air, food, water, we're just inundated. Bodies weren't designed to take that much in. And so the body starts to speak to us and tell us these common things like brain fog or fatigue or stamina, and on it goes. And we don't, when's the last time our doctors have asked us, how are you feeling about those common things? We just don't think about it. So this quiz causes people to pause and say, you know what, and because it's going to give them a score. The way this quiz is designed is they actually have a slider scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. So they'll hit the category, and then they'll check the boxes that apply, and then they'll give themselves a score. And it's like, how 3? Are you a 4? Are you a 6? Whatever. Are you a 10? And you go through all 10 of these categories doing that. And at the end, it says, here's your toxic impact score. I've yet to get somebody that's 100. Most people are 55, 60, 65, 75 on the score. And now what I just did was I showed them that they're already starting to have some relatable issues because of toxins in their body. And it's so we found this tool. We just launched it a week ago. Over 500 people have already taken this quiz. And it's just amazing because it allows you to personalize it and then show them your journey to better health, show them the big problem, right? So if left unchecked, this is where it's headed to. That if you don't deal with these things in your body because your body's talking to you, then this is where it can lead to. And so I think that was another big thing is I found in Avini, we have an amazing company where we've helped the testimonials are just off the charts. Once blind, now I see. But where I think that we can really reach the masses is getting everybody to understand. I don't care if you're 20 years old, 50 years old, 100 years old, everybody needs a clean start. And so Cell Defender is that tip of the spear that's the gateway to allow us to talk about other products. But I also know simplicity. I know that if we're going to get to the masses, we have to create a simple, duplicatable process. My personal goal in talking with the team is we want to see 1 million people take the CS90 score. And it's a huge mission. And that's just the starting point because there's a few more people in the world than 1 million people. But that's our first goal. And then we can reach the world. And so we invite people to join us in this crusade, this mission to say, look, yes, we have a business that will pay for your program, that will turn into a part-time, full-time lifestyle business. But the focus is on helping people realize that they're not as healthy as they are through this score, and then replicating that, right? Because and the last thing I'll say about the whole concept is I know this about a new distributor. A confused mind will do nothing. So what I know is that if we give that new distributor, what activity do I want that new distributor to do? First of all, obviously join the program, right? Do it for themselves. But I want them to reach out to at least 3 people, invite 3 people to join them to do the Clean Start 90 with them at a minimum. Some people may invite 10, 20, 50, or 100, but we want everybody to invite at least 3 because the only way we're going to reach 1 million people is if we have an army of people replicating. And so what we're going to teach today here in a second is what is that process? How do I take a new distributor who says, you know what, I need to do this Clean Start 90 program? How do we take them through their list of people that, loved ones, friends, family, coworkers? How do we get them to open up the door of conversation? One thing I know my 35 year of doing this direct sales business is that we teach people, hey, make your list, right? Who are you going to contact? Directory dreamers. But the problem is that they're brand new. They don't know anything. They don't know a lot, right? So how do I create a system where that new distributor can immediately go out there and follow using the tools to open up the conversations where I'm not selling something, right? Because what the quiz does is it points it to that individual that they have a problem. Now the question is, Dave, I'm assuming you don't want to live at 57 out of 100. Right? I'm assuming you'd like to know if there's a solution that I could live closer to 100 or at 100, you'd want to know about it, right? It gives that new person that ability to not have to know everything about Cell Defender and all the details, and they can immediately go out there and start sorting. And what I know about this, Dave, and you know this better than anybody, the law of large numbers can go to work with a system like this. We can filter through a lot of people, because if you have a little team of 10 people and all they did, our small team of 10, let's say 10, that we teach them and say, look, your whole thing that we want you to track is every week we want you to, I don't care if it's a stranger, friend on your list, whoever, we want you to go out there and focus on getting 10 people every week to take the Toxic Impact Score quiz and have them watch Your Journey to Better Health. That's it. Don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about whether they enroll or not enroll. Just so think about that. If you had 10 people on your team who made that commitment, everybody can do that. There's nothing that I have to train other than a few questions we're going to teach you here to get people to do that. That's 100 people in your organization on a weekly basis that are going to get a health score, a toxic impact score, and they're going to be introduced to the big elephant in the room of toxicity. What do you think is going to happen? That's 400 people a month. Of those 400, with this process that we'll teach you here in a second, do you think that's going to convert into customers and distributors who want to do the program? And then what if you had 100 people someday on your team, all committed? Their whole goal is just to get 10 people a week to take the test, the quiz. That's 1,000 people every week in your organization. 4,000 people a month. You can see how the law of large numbers goes to work, and we get to what we all need to do is getting out there and sharing something. Because at the end of the day, the person on the other end of my phone call or my presentation, they only care what's in it for them. It's not about what's in it for me or anybody else. It's what's in it for you, Dave, when I show you this Clean Start 90 Health program. That's what it's about. And so that's the program, the history of where it came from. And I'd like Doug to, because we've gone back and forth. I bounced a lot of things off Doug and other leaders as I was going through this. But Doug is his whole story. I'm here because of him and his story. And really, you and Dave was that previous company. It was Cell Defender. It was 10 drops 10 times a day. It was that program. But Doug, I'd love to get your feedback and thoughts on what I shared.
Yeah, great job so far, Paul. With my experience, it becomes difficult because I can share how I had these horrible issues. I took this product 8 weeks later. I have this sort of miracle experience. That's not duplicatable. Me sharing that experience over and over again helps me bring people to the company. But what I'm really looking for is the people that I am able to convince to use the product, they see their own results, they have to be able to talk to the next person. So often the problem is I don't know everything that Doug knows about the product. I don't have a testimonial, or mine wasn't a life-changing sort of thing. Or the person tries to go out and find somebody that's really sick that had my issues to be able to offer them the product. That just won't get us to the numbers that we need to really make a difference in this world. Those that have used the product, like myself, are out there yelling from the rooftops to people, hey, you've got to try this, or you got to be aware heavy metals are causing these issues. And since we don't have the ability to do that and make it duplicatable, we need a system. And so this was brilliant that was given to Paul just all in one moment that, okay, this is the system. We need people to first personalize it. How does this affect me? If you look at the score and you go, man, I thought I would have been at 95, and here I am at 51. So we're looking at the symptoms, what they call a paper pen test. How do you feel? And if you can show, oh my gosh, this is my number, and then at the end of 90 days come back and you've moved up 35 points or 45 points, then you can see that you have something that you can compare it to. And that's the first part. It personalizes it. Second, we need them to understand this is a big issue. So the Journey to Better Health video, you get somebody to watch that, they can see, oh my gosh, this is really an issue, how it's connected to studies out there. these 5 heavy metals that cause the majority of all the issues. They're the root cause of most all of these issues. A simple Google search. And so we need a simple way to personalize it for them, give them a place where they're at. Second of all, hear about the big picture on this. And now it's very easy for them to do those 2 same steps with everybody they know. And again, Paul said it perfectly. We're not worried about the outcome. They get involved, they buy the products, they use products. That's up to them. That's their decision. But for us to get the word out and to be able to do it in a big way, because if you just extrapolate out the numbers, we've got to do a lot to make a big difference. There are people dying every day that I believe don't need to die. That these products that we have can have such an impact as we've seen. And I've shared my story with my sister-in-law, who's doing great, and how people who had given no hope have been able to get back to a place where their body is healing. And again, what a wonderful ability to share this. But we have to have a simple, easy way to do those 2 things. And Paul's put this program together. Now, there's next steps. There's a presentation that we'll talk about. And then, of course, a FAQ where people will need to learn a few extra things of how to detox and which products do what, those sort of things that we'll provide also. But this is really the quintessential thing, is to get these first 2 steps done.
Yes, exactly. So I think what we can do now is segue into, I want to share some tools that were created, and then we're going to quickly take you through the quiz for those that, just to make sure everybody understands how to use that effectively. And then we're going to give you some, like, a 5 or 6 step guideline of just literally what to do over and over again with all your new people. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And the first tool I want to share with you and what we created was this site that is called cleanstart90.com. And this website it's really a support site for those that want to learn about Clean Start 90. I would not use this with new people. This is really for distributors. This is really once they've signed up, and we're going to be updating this as we go along here. But you'll see different things on here, what the program is, what we're doing here, but in more of a Word format. But there's also a calendar. So there's a live calendar here. Any live Zooms that we're doing throughout the week, you can go here and look for, okay, is there a live Zoom? I can take somebody to a presentation, or is there a training, or what's going on? So that's up there. And then there's downloadable documents that support the program. So I have my story. I call it the Clean Start 90 cover story. We have an invitation system, basic training, what to do. Some of those will be updated because that was done a few 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there's a few things that are minor tweaks we want to adjust, but those will be updated. And you have the wellness snapshot, toxic impact score, quiz, a paper. So all these things, and then a checklist. Okay, so you get a brand new person in, check. Okay, did this. Okay, now I need to do this, and allows you, literally walks you right through what you need to do. So that is at Clean Start 90. Now, if someone says, I want to know more about Cell Defender, maybe after you've introduced them to it, we have a site that was put together called defendyourcells.com. We'll have this on a 1-page document here soon, but if you want to write this down, defendyourcells.com. And this is all things on the Cell Defender. It's got the Journey to Better Health video. It's got explanations by Rick, the short video on the product, and some testimonials. But if someone says, maybe you got a health practitioner says, I want to really know about Cell Defender. If you go to research.defendyourcells.com, this is the deep dive. This is not something you'd share with everybody, but somebody wants maybe the master class. Rick does that hour-long training on Cell Defender, and different resources and clinical studies you can download. Everything is in this spot here on Cell Defender and more testimonials. We have those as the support tools. But then the quiz site, if you go to cs90score.com, cs90score.com, we explain what the purpose of this is. We want people to know that this is obviously, we don't make any medical claims. There's disclaimers all over the place. This is just for your, and by the way, we don't ask for anybody's name. We do date stamp it, but no names are required. And then we also tell them we don't save any personal information. In fact, they got to check the box before they can go through this, because some people are a little leery of answering questions like this. We just try to help them understand that this is unique to you. No one's going to see this. We're not recording this. This is just your thing. And so then they can start the quiz. And so here at neurological and cognitive, this is where you would have them check a box that applies under this category. So maybe I struggle with brain fog. Maybe I have trouble focusing. Maybe I've got a little anxiety or depression. Whatever those boxes apply, they would come down here and click on the number that applies, that they would give them a self-rating score. On a phone, it's a little bit small, but you can click on the numbers. You don't have to slide it necessarily. You can grab it on a computer, on a phone. You might just get a click on the one that applies. So let's just say I give myself a 3 here, and then I click the next category. At the top of the page, you'll see category 2 out of 10. So that tells you where you're at in the quiz. I don't really have any issues here. I'm going to give myself a 10. Chronic tiredness, low stamina, afternoon sleep, all of the above. I'm a 3 here. I'm just going through this. And liver, I'm just going to quickly just do this for sake of time. I'm just going to bump through this and just pick a few things and give myself a score. Fine there. So we're at 6 out of 10. Now we're 7 out of 10. Got gut and digestive health, a little bit, whatever. Maybe I'm a 7. I'm pretty good there. And, so here's hormonal metabolic. Give myself a 6. And then the last one, chemical sensitivities, 7. Okay, so now once you're through this, it throws up a score. So now you're 66 out of 100. Now what it tracks is, it tracks down below the category breakdown. It gives you each category. This is a benchmark, right? Because what we want somebody to do, first of all, they're going to do this. You're going to have them do this throughout the week initially, but before they start their program, or they can even use that one, this is their benchmark. Hey, I'm a 3 out of 10 when it comes to the neurological cognitive category, and these are the areas I struggle with, and et cetera, et cetera. They can print the results here. So I can click on print. They can print this off. It date stamps it, and this is their snapshot before they start. They would just write their name on it, or they can download it, or they can email it to you or somebody or themselves, doesn't matter. And so again, this 66 out of 100, 53 out of 100, 74 out of 100, whatever their score is, I'm pretty much going to guarantee you no one's probably going to get 100. And if they are, they're probably not telling the truth. But now where they fall on that scale, maybe someone is a 95. Okay, great. But I think you're going to find the majority of people are going to be in the 50, 60, 70 category. And so again, this personalizes that experience, right? This personalizes this now that, hey, and here, I'll just read what it says. Toxicity impact score explained. Your score combines your self-reported ratings across the 10 categories. Some categories may correspond with patterns that people commonly associate with lifestyle stressors, environmental exposures, and potential toxins bioaccumulation. It's just meant to raise awareness. That's all this is, just raising awareness that personalizes to that person. Can you imagine if all you did was get people every day to take this quiz? And how many conversations could you open up if all you did was get people to take this quiz? Because again, the simple question at the back end of this is, Doug, you're a 66 out of 100. My assumption, Doug, is you don't want to live at 66 out of 100, right? If there was a clinically proven solution that could remove these toxins out of your body through the urine channel, unlike any other detoxification process out there, in the next 90 days, and we can dramatically increase the score, would you want to know more about it?
For sure.
And that's it. So what I just showed you is a tool, as a way for people to sort through their list, ask some simple questions, and they don't really have to know a lot about Cell Defender, Avini Health. It's all about everybody needs a clean start. And Doug, I want you to address right here, why would somebody, so when we talk about detoxification, do maybe a 3-minute, what's the difference between Cell Defender as a source for detoxification versus every other choice out there in the marketplace? Because I think a lot of people have already done a detox, Doug. Yeah, but I don't really think whatever. Why is Cell Defender so impactful comparatively?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was surprised to find that when we hear the word detox, that it's referring mostly to cellular detox. If I eat cilantro or I get some glutathione supplement or something, it's really simply having the cells that are bad dump their toxins. But that doesn't mean it leaves the body. In fact, think of it as moving clutter from one room to another. It never really leaves going through the garbage can. It puts actual burden on the liver and the kidneys by detoxing at a cellular process. And so what we have special is this zeolite made in nature, made by volcanoes, micronized down to a size that will absorb into our bloodstream, cleaned through a 34-step process, and then activated. So it will trade for the bad metals only. So it doesn't remove any of the healthy metals. It goes through your blood and lymph, and it grabs the toxins that are traveling back to your liver, back to your kidneys, and it grabs them, disables them so they can't grab onto anything. And then every 6 to 8 hours, your urine removes these things via the kidneys. There's no transformation process. It just removes the burden off your body. And this is an important thing that we need people to understand is there's a vascular detox and then there's a cellular detox. And many people that are eating very healthy, taking lots of vitamins and supplements, are literally burdening their system by just having more toxins in circulation. And that causes a lot of issues, causes most of the autoimmune issues. And so by taking Cell Defender, which has been the only product out there that's been prepared to go into the bloodstream and the lymphatic system and clean the body, everything else out there hasn't been prepared. This is Rick is the father of zeolites. He's the guy who wrote the book on it. And so we have this incredible product, which we need to get the word out to people. Again, our first and foremost mission is to help people get this word out and to be able to show them the difference between a cellular detox and a vascular detox. In your body, when these metals and toxins, when the garbage is taken out, your body is able to fix itself. It's able to do things that it couldn't do before. And instead of going through more aging, your body can reverse that and start getting healthier. It's been fixing itself your whole life. So why did it just stop fixing itself? That's where these heavy metals and toxins and the knowledge and awareness of this is so important.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think that's important to point out because, again, people out there have a misunderstanding. And that's why this is unlike anything else that's out there. It's clinically proven, it's safe, it's gentle, it's way more effective than anything that they could do. And that's why we see the dramatic results in 90 days. When you consistently keep this in your body, your bloodstream, the lymphatic system, kind of like new sponges, just absorbing those toxins and kicking it out through the urine on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis, then guess what the body can do? It starts to function the way it was designed to function. It's not rocket science. As Rick says, cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. One other tool that we created was a whole new, brand new presentation here called Join the Movement, Transform Your Future, Reclaim Vitality, Restore Balance, Renew Your Health. And it's a 30-minute presentation, not designed to be exhaustive, but it just introduces people to the problem, to the solution. I really like this new slide I created here, the frog in the pot of water. A silent epidemics robbing people of their health and their future. Until toxins are removed, even the best nutrition can't restore balance. You can't out-nutrition heavy metals and toxins. We have this whole presentation that currently is what we do or have been doing. And of course, with Christmas and New Year's, we're a little bit off on our schedule. But post holiday time here, we will be doing multiple live presentations every week. And then we'll have a good recorded around the first of the year, if not sooner, that you'll have a site that you can go to, okay, so that you can introduce people. So here's the process. So let's role play a little bit, Dave. I'm going to let me bring this back down here. So Dave and I are going to role play if he's one of my new potential, he's on my list. Good friend, however I met him, could be a complete stranger. Here's 2 questions I found to be effective. Now you can make questions, however you get people to take the quiz is how you're going to do it. But here's a couple that you could ask. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing really good, Paul. Thanks for asking.
Hey, David, I know it's been a while since we caught up, and I'd love to hear about your kids. Hey, I heard I think through Facebook, I heard you're a great grandpa. So I always knew you're great, Dave, but now I know you are. But Dave, have you heard of this Clean Start 90 Health Reset that's been going around lately?
No, what's that?
Dave, it's an amazing program. We're seeing amazing transformations in people's lives. But let me ask you one quick question. How much do you know about toxins, heavy metals toxins in the environment, air, food, and water that is affecting your personal health? Have you ever done much research on that?
Oh, a little bit.
A little bit. Dave, this company, I want to share about the program, but this company has a short little toxic impact quiz. They call it toxic impact score. It gives you a score, just assesses you, answer the questions. It's for you personally to just see where you're at out of 100. And then there's a short video that kind of talks about the problem as a whole. And I'd love to see what your score is. Can I send you that link to take that quiz? It takes about 3 or 4 minutes, and watch that short video. And then I think we can have a better conversation about what Clean Start 90 is all about.
Yeah, I'd like to see what my score is too. Yeah, send it my way.
Awesome. I'm going to send you by text or email. There's just 2 sites. It's cs90score.com and then fixtoxins.com. So the first one's your quiz. Dave, when you take the quiz, we don't collect any personal data. There's no name required. Just check the box. There's 10 categories. You're just going to check the boxes that apply. And then there's a slider scale at the bottom that you're going to choose 1 to 10, 10 being the best, where you fall on that scale in that category. And then, like I said, it literally takes 3 or 4 minutes, and then it will give you that score. So I'll send you that. And in the 4-minute video, you can watch that right there. Do you think you'll get to that today or tomorrow? What's your schedule like?
I can do it by tomorrow. Yeah.
By tomorrow. Okay, cool. What I'll do, Dave, is I'll give you a chance to, again, take a few minutes to do that. And then I'll put it down to call you maybe 6 o'clock tomorrow night, if that works, or 7.
Yeah, that'll work, Paul.
Okay, great. So then I send him the information, right? I call him. So now I call Dave. It's now 7 o'clock. I call him the next day. Hey, Dave, Paul again here. Hey, did you get a chance to do that quiz?
Actually, I did. It's pretty interesting.
I'm curious, Dave. What score did you get?
It was 67, so I guess I'm a D plus.
60. Dave, what I find interestingly is the more that I do these quizzes with people, we find most people fall in that 50, 60 category. And really what that just simply means, Dave, is it's a quick snapshot that your body's talking to you. It's telling you that you're already being impacted by toxins in the environment, right? These are common symptoms. Dave, let me ask you this question. I'm assuming you don't want to live at 66 out of 100 or 67 out of 100. If there was a clinically proven product, a natural product that's safe in general to get these toxins out of the body, and in short as 9 days, we could really move that needle from 67 really close to 100. Would you want to know more information about that?
Yeah. What does it take? What do you have to do? And
they have a 30-minute presentation. They do live Zooms during the week. In fact, they've actually got a recorded one. It's only 30 minutes. That goes through the program and how we're helping people. And it'll help you understand what it is. And I'm sure you'll have some questions. And following that, watching that presentation, I'd like to introduce you to somebody I'm working with who's been around this for a couple of years that could probably answer some of your questions. I'm sure you'll have some. But at least we can get you that overview of explaining what the program is and how we can move you from a 66 to a 90 or to 100 in the next 90 days. So I think that's the next best way to go, Dave, is have you do that, and then we can have a better conversation and get your questions answered.
Oh, but just one question. So I've never heard of it. What kind of track record does this have?
The product's been around for over 20 years. It's got clinical support, Dave. In fact, there's been up to 15 clinical studies done on this product. Thousands and thousands of testimonials. So it's been around for a long time. And in that presentation, you're going to learn more about that, what it is and how it works and so forth. And I'm pretty new at this, Dave, so I'd rather have you watch that presentation because it'll answer probably a lot of the questions you have. And then we can do a follow-up and get all your questions answered. But I'm telling you, we are changing lives. This is not a fad, Dave. We are doing something special here and seeing a lot of people just elevate their quality of life like nothing else.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'll take a look.
Awesome. Great. Cool. So what I'll do is Dave, there's a live Zoom tomorrow. I'm not sure if that fits your schedule. If it doesn't, there's a link I'll send you on a presentation you can watch. Again, about 30 minutes. Not sure. How does your schedule look to either fit in that live presentation or watch that presentation? Because I know you're pretty busy.
Yeah, send me the link to the recording if you would.
Okay, I'll do that. And you think it'll be a day or two? How's your week look? I don't want to bug you. Just want to give you time.
Oh, how about give me a call the first of the week, or I'll call you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right, cool. I'll do that. I'll follow up with you here at the first of the week, and then we'll get all your questions answered. But I'm excited to share with you what we're doing.
Oh, thanks for thinking of me, Paul. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, great, Dave. Thanks. Now, I follow up with him first of the week. He said, I'll call you. He may call me before then, but I'm going to definitely put him on the calendar to follow up with him. And then I'm just going to say, Dave, I'm sure you have some questions. I've got a good friend of mine, Doug Dickey, on the phone right now, that he has an amazing story about how this product gave him a new life, and just wanted to make sure I was prepared to answer some of your questions about how the program might work or what your thoughts are. Doug, this is Dave. Dave, this is Doug.
Hey, nice to meet you, Dave.
Good to meet you too.
Dave, after you watched that presentation, I know it wasn't exhaustive, but what'd you think? Did you understand what they're doing with how the product worked?
It makes a lot of sense. I like that. What does it taste like?
There's no taste. That's the cool part. And clinically, they've shown you could, as long as you get it in your body 10 times a day, 10 drops 10 times a day for 9 days, put in your food, water. But Doug, you have an amazing story. Would you take 2 minutes and just share your story with Dave, if you don't mind? And you see what I'm doing here. For sake of time, I don't want to, but that's the process, right? It's just, and we can do that process over and over again. How much knowledge did that new distributor have to be able to do that process?
Not much.
I seen in my career, 35 years, a lot of good salespeople, a lot of people that have charisma, can sign up a lot of people, but they don't have a very big business. And you know why? Because they do not have a system to cause the new people that just joined to be able to go replicate what they're able to do. Keep in mind that whatever you're doing, however you're presenting Avini Health, and in this case, the system, the person that eventually will join you has to look back and because you were teaching them all along the way how to do the business, right? And if you want a massive business in any network marketing company, whether Avini Health you have to have a system where that new distributor, with or without you, can replicate and duplicate. And then those people, and then those people, and those people. And then lastly, people want to be a part of something big. This is a mission. This is a crusade, a camp. We have a responsibility to get this product out there, because we know what it's done. I know what it's done for me. I know what it's done for Doug and Dave and others. We have a responsibility to get this out there and get it out there in a big way. So this allows us, when we tell people, we have a goal of 1 million people to do the Clean Start 90 program. Can you imagine, by the way, in a live meeting, Dave, if you got 50 people in a presentation, Clean Start 90 or whatever, and you say, hey, before we get started, everybody pull out your phone. We're going to do a toxic impact quiz, right? Hey, anybody get 100 in here? How about 90? How about 70? This is a great tool. If you're doing a health show, a wellness show, right? They come up to your booth. Hey, pull out a tablet. Let's do it. Let's see what your toxic impact score quiz is. You imagine how much better the conversations would be when you do that with people, how much more interested they would be, because now you can point to their score. So again,
along that idea, just as an example, could you print that out on a sheet if you were somewhere and then pass that out to people at a fair?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it opens up the ability for us to go through the law of large numbers. And the last thing I'll say, and then if there's any parting thoughts on your guys' end of ideas or things I miss, I want people to understand I am in love with Avini Health and all of the products that they have. I want people to understand that, and in fact, I say it in my presentation, we are not a one product company, that we have products that hit all these categories. But what I know about humans is that I've seen this personally happen over and over again in my career. There was a company that I helped launch, a nutritional supplement company, and we had this MD that was on staff, and he was one of the guys that created these products. And they had, this was 20 plus years ago, they had a liquid multivitamin. It was like their flagship product. And then they had probably 7 or 8 other products. I was literally in a meeting at a home with about 80 people, a big house. And the MD was doing a presentation, and he lifted up the liquid multivitamin, first product, and he starts talking about it and giving people every reason why they should take this product. And everybody's taking notes. Oh man, because everybody needed at least that product. So he lifts that up. And if he would have stopped right there, he would have signed up everybody in the room. If he just would have stopped there, maybe displayed the other products, right? But just everybody needs this, and gets everybody on this. But what he did is he lifted up the next product, and he basically made a case for why you need this product. And everybody's taking notes and, oh yeah, I need that product, right? Then he did it with the third one and the fourth one and the fifth one and the sixth one and the ninth. Do you know how many people out of 80 people bought product that night? 0. He literally talked everybody out of it. You know why? Because everybody said, I need all the products. I can't afford all the products, and I don't even know where to start because I need all of them. So it's not that I love all of our products. They're amazing. Rick's a master formulator, and I think we should be on as many of these products as possible. But from a budgetary standpoint, you got to get people started. If it's too expensive for a household where they just can't fit it into their extra income, they won't get started. If it's overcomplicated, they won't get started. But here's what I know. If I get you started on something like Cell Defender with a clear path to seeing movement and benefits, and I get you making money, because remember, if they get 3 and they get 3 and they get 3, within the 4th month, we can turn everybody into rubies in our company. If everybody just got 3, everybody got 3, right? Because the program is minimally, when you say, okay, I'm in, I want to start the Clean Start 90 program, you're committing to $299, 7 bottles of product. You're committing to month 2 and month 3, where you're going to put those people on an auto shipment of 5 bottles, month 2 and month 3. That's the minimum commitment. If they want to buy a larger pack, I'm not going to talk them out of it, but as long as they're committed to 5 bottles a month for 3 months, right? As long as they're committed to that program, buy whatever program, add all the things you want. But minimally, that's where everybody starts. And here's the thing. If you do that, and the math, our comp plan is a volume-based comp plan. So if I get 3 in month 1, and then they get 3 in month 2, and they get 3 in month 3, and that continues to perpetuate because everybody can do what we're doing here, the volume, they would pay for their program, and they would literally have enough volume in month 4 to be a Ruby. You know what's really crazy? If you go out and get 12 people, because maybe you have the ability to get 12, and everybody else just gets 3. So let's say by the end of January, you get 12 and everybody else gets 3. Do you know that by February, March, April, in a perfect world, the way that everybody else would get 3, you just set it up with 12, but everybody else gets 3, you would be an emerald or almost a diamond in 4 months. If everybody just enrolls minimally at $299 and gets on the auto shipment of 5 bottles month 2 and month 3. And the common question people have is, I'd love to do it, but it's too expensive. I don't have the money. Hey, do you know 3 people that needs a clean start? We pay weekly on the activation pack bonuses. Literally, you enroll today, we can have your money back by the end of the week. So we can take away the excuse that I don't have the money, start replicating it. And guess what's going to happen? When they start to move the needle, when they start to move from 67 to 75 to 80 to 90 or that, what else do you think they're going to do besides making money now? What else do you think they're going to do? They're going to buy other products. They're going to buy the other things that Avini has to offer. And so I want people to understand, if there's another system that's better than this, or you guys are doing something that's working, please do that system. But I think systems are what are the key to success, and especially in network marketing.
Well, this is really exciting. I'm thinking back all those years ago when Rick came out with this, and they did that just really solid empirical objective study in the coal miners. They had urinary excretion increased 15 times. But also, when you listen to Rick talk, it was a lot like this questionnaire where he commented that the people that were on it, all of those good feelings and stuff. So this is exciting. There's a couple of questions here. Okay, where do you get the recording if you want to share that with someone? And then, okay, you gather a few people together, they've taken the test, just maybe spell out what do you do next? And
so the recording's not live yet. We're hoping to have one done where I think we can live with it here by the end of the year. Right now, I would just say get with the person. With Christmas this coming week, it's a super busy week with my kids coming to town, and the following week when I get back, I will get a recording done. So that'll be up by the end of the year. And then there'll be a website, just like CS90, probably be cs90presentation.com. But we'll get that out to you. Join the WhatsApp group. We have a Clean Start 90 WhatsApp. If you don't have a link to join, that's a great way for us to communicate when stuff comes out. So make sure you get with, again, whoever invited you to get onboarded at the WhatsApp Clean Start 90 group. Person says, if I'm presenting to 5 people, I would start with everyone taking the quiz, and then what would I do? Great question. So once they take the quiz, then it's okay. What was your score? Anybody in here get 100? No, you got a 70, 60, whatever. Hey, this is just a snapshot of saying you already have toxins affecting your body. The idea of the quiz before a meeting is just to set that person up to make it personal, that now they'll listen to the presentation. So if you want the presentation, the Clean Start 90 presentation that I have created to use in a meeting, be glad to share that. If you don't have it, we'll probably post that as there also at Clean Start 90. It's not up there, but we'll make sure to get that to you. So request that. But whatever presentation you're doing, all you're doing with the quiz is just setting people up to listen to what you're saying. Basically, that's it. It's just now it's about me. It's not about everybody else in the room. It's about me. And that's what the quiz is for. But great question.
2026 is going to be awesome.
Yes, it is. Doug, any last thoughts as we wrap up today?
Just quiz, video, presentation, introduce them to somebody. Those 4 things over and over again. And you just keep putting people through this process. The whole purpose I do this is I know what the product did for me, and I want other people to have that. I continue running across people that are sick, and I want them to know about this. I have the understanding, the ability, the knowledge that I've spent years getting to be able to share that with them. But for the next person, they may not have that. This is the answer for them, to be able to get somebody through the process, to get well, to experience these life-saving products. This is the process. It absolutely works. And you just have to ask people to take the quiz, watch the video, do the presentation, introduce them to somebody to answer questions. That's it. Very simple. Anybody can do it.
The 3 of us presenting this today, we all did that program, and we all had transformational changes, and this is our crusade. We're excited about that, and it works. It's worked for a lot of other people. And yeah, there's some really wonderful stories of people that did it 10 drops twice a day or 5 drops 4 times a day. But this is something that I really believe, where I love that idea, some is good, more is better, and too much is just right. And that's where we're at with this. And oh my goodness, where we've got this track to run on. This is going to be so powerful. So just get really good at calling people, inviting them to take the test, following up, and so if you get really good at presenting, talk to lots of people, good people, and then success just becomes a certainty. This is inevitable. So I love what Paul talks about, the magic of large numbers. Just do it and jump on in, and let's go change the world. 1 million people, that's going to be amazing. And why not you be a big part of that?
Wonderful.